There are moments in life when a single idea, a single word, or a single belief can completely transform the direction of your destiny. According to the teachings of Joseph Murphy, the subconscious mind is always listening, always responding, and always creating your reality based on the thoughts and words you repeatedly impress upon it. Most people go through life unaware that the language they use internally is silently shaping their financial future. They struggle not because opportunities do not exist, but because their subconscious programming keeps them locked in patterns of limitation. But what if you could activate a mental switch that awakens the wealth, creating power already within you? What if certain words could act like a trigger, awakening confidence, attracting opportunities, and aligning your mind with prosperity? Tonight, we are going to explore the powerful idea of the Millionaire Trigger Words, simple yet profound words that can recondition your subconscious mind to think, act, and attract like a millionaire. According to the timeless teachings of Joseph Murphy, the subconscious mind is always active, always listening, and always responding to the words and beliefs that you impress upon it repeatedly. Most people imagine that their life circumstances are shaped only by external events, by luck, by opportunity, or by the actions of other people. Yet the deeper truth is that the invisible patterns within the subconscious mind are constantly directing the course of a person's life. Every thought that you think and every word that you repeat with feeling becomes a seed planted in the deeper layers of your mind. Those seeds do not remain dormant. They grow quietly, steadily, and faithfully until they appear as conditions, experiences, and results in the outer world. The subconscious mind does not argue, analyze, or judge whether an idea is good or bad. It simply accepts what is impressed upon it through repetition and emotion. If a person repeatedly tells themselves that success is difficult, that money is scarce, or that opportunities are rare, the subconscious mind accepts these statements as instructions. Over time, those instructions become mental programs that influence perception, decisions, and behavior. A person may not even realize that these hidden beliefs are shaping their actions. They simply begin to notice that they hesitate when opportunities appear, that they expect failure before even trying, or that they unconsciously avoid situations that could bring financial growth. This is why words carry such extraordinary power. Words are not merely sounds or symbols used for communication. Words are impressions that shape belief, and belief is the blueprint that the subconscious mind uses to create reality. When certain words are repeated again and again with conviction, the subconscious mind begins to accept them as truth. The moment an idea is accepted as truth by the subconscious mind, it starts organizing thoughts, attitudes, and actions to bring that idea into physical expression. Many people unknowingly repeat words of limitation throughout their daily lives. They might say things like, "I can't afford it," "money is hard to earn," or "success is only for lucky people." These statements may appear harmless on the surface, yet each repetition strengthens a mental pattern of scarcity. The subconscious mind absorbs these patterns and begins to act accordingly. It filters perception so that the individual sees obstacles more clearly than opportunities. It encourages cautious decisions instead of bold action. It subtly influences the person to remain within familiar limits rather than expanding into new possibilities. The fascinating truth is that this same mechanism that creates limitation can also create extraordinary success. The subconscious mind does not resist new instructions if they are delivered with persistence and belief. When a person begins repeating empowering words that reflect abundance, growth, and opportunity, the subconscious mind gradually adopts those ideas as its new operating program. This process does not require force, struggle, or complicated techniques. It simply requires consistent repetition combined with emotional conviction. Consider the way habits are formed. When someone practices a skill repeatedly, whether it is playing a musical instrument, learning a language, or mastering a sport, the subconscious mind eventually takes over the process. What once required conscious effort becomes automatic. The same principle applies to beliefs about wealth, success, and personal potential. Repeated words gradually become repeated thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs become automatic mental responses. When empowering words are impressed upon the subconscious mind, they begin influencing perception in powerful ways. Opportunities that once went unnoticed suddenly become visible. Ideas that once seemed unrealistic begin to feel achievable. The individual starts thinking in terms of possibility rather than limitation. This shift may appear subtle at first, yet it gradually transforms behavior. A person who believes that success is natural will approach challenges with confidence. They will take initiative more easily, communicate with greater assurance, and remain persistent when obstacles appear. The subconscious mind thrives on clarity and repetition. It responds most strongly to words that are simple, direct, and emotionally charged. Complex instructions often create confusion, but simple affirmations can penetrate deeply into the mind when they are repeated with belief. This is why certain phrases, when spoken consistently, can function as trigger words that activate powerful internal changes. These words become signals that guide the subconscious mind toward a specific mental state. Emotion also plays a critical role in this process. Words spoken without feeling have limited influence, but words spoken with genuine conviction leave a deep impression. When a person speaks words of abundance while imagining the feeling of success, gratitude, and prosperity, the subconscious mind interprets those emotions as confirmation that the desired condition already exists. It begins aligning thoughts and actions with that emotional blueprint. Many successful individuals throughout history have intuitively understood this principle. They may not always describe it in psychological terms, yet they consistently speak about the importance of maintaining empowering thoughts and affirming beliefs about success. Their language reflects expectation rather than doubt. They speak about opportunities instead of obstacles. Over time, this consistent mental focus becomes part of their identity. The subconscious mind is deeply influenced by identity. When a person begins to see themselves as capable, resourceful, and deserving of success, their behavior naturally aligns with that self-image. Words play a crucial role in shaping identity because they define how a person interprets their own abilities and potential. If someone constantly describes themselves as unlucky or incapable, that description becomes a self-fulfilling identity. But when a person repeatedly affirms that they are creative, intelligent, and capable of attracting prosperity, the subconscious mind gradually reshapes their self-image. This transformation does not happen in a single moment. Just as a garden requires time for seeds to grow, the subconscious mind requires consistent reinforcement before new beliefs become dominant. Old patterns may attempt to reappear, especially if they have been repeated for many years. Yet every repetition of empowering words weakens those old patterns and strengthens the new mental program. Persistence is therefore essential. The subconscious mind responds most powerfully when words are repeated daily, ideally during moments when the mind is calm and receptive. Early in the morning and just before sleep are particularly effective times because the conscious mind is relaxed and less likely to interfere with the new suggestions. During these moments, the subconscious mind absorbs impressions more easily. As empowering words are repeated over time, they begin influencing the internal dialogue that occurs throughout the day. Instead of reacting to challenges with doubt, the mind automatically responds with confidence. Instead of expecting problems, the mind anticipates solutions. This shift may appear subtle in daily life, yet its cumulative effect can be profound. Decisions become more decisive, actions become more focused, and opportunities are approached with enthusiasm rather than hesitation. The subconscious mind also influences creativity and intuition. When empowering words reinforce a belief in abundance and possibility, the mind becomes more open to innovative ideas. Solutions that once seemed difficult suddenly appear through inspiration. New strategies, connections, and opportunities seem to emerge naturally because the subconscious mind is actively searching for ways to fulfill the belief that success is attainable. Another important aspect of repeated words is the way they influence emotional resilience. Life inevitably presents challenges, setbacks, and unexpected difficulties. Individuals who maintain empowering internal language are better equipped to navigate these moments because their subconscious mind has been conditioned to expect growth rather than defeat. They interpret obstacles as temporary lessons rather than permanent barriers. This resilience allows them to continue moving forward while others may become discouraged. The subconscious mind, once programmed with empowering beliefs, encourages persistence and creative problem solving. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, the mind automatically searches for ways to improve, adapt, and progress. Over time, the consistent repetition of empowering words creates a powerful mental environment in which success becomes increasingly natural. The individual begins acting in alignment with prosperity because their subconscious mind has accepted prosperity as a normal expectation. This alignment between belief and action is what ultimately produces visible results in the outer world. Words therefore function as the initial spark that activates deeper psychological processes. They are the tools through which beliefs are formed, identities are shaped, and habits are reinforced. When chosen carefully and repeated consistently, they become trigger points that direct the subconscious mind towards specific outcomes. This is why understanding the relationship between words and the subconscious mind is so important. Every person is already using this principle, whether consciously or unconsciously. The only difference is the direction in which it is applied. Negative words reinforce limitation, while empowering words cultivate opportunity and growth. By becoming aware of the language used in daily thoughts and conversations, an individual gains the ability to reshape their mental environment. They can begin replacing expressions of doubt with statements of confidence, replacing expectations of scarcity with affirmations of abundance. Each repetition becomes another step toward reprogramming the subconscious mind. As this new pattern becomes stronger, the subconscious mind begins operating like an invisible ally. It guides attention toward opportunities, strengthens determination during challenges, and encourages actions that align with prosperity. What once felt difficult gradually becomes natural because the subconscious mind is now supporting rather than resisting the pursuit of success. The remarkable truth is that this transformation begins with something incredibly simple: the words a person chooses to repeat within their own mind. Each word carries an impression, each impression shapes belief, and each belief influences the direction of a person's life. Through consistent repetition, empowering words become deeply rooted within the subconscious mind, gradually shaping thoughts, attitudes, decisions, and actions in ways that move a person toward greater confidence, opportunity, and financial growth. The idea of trigger words that activate wealth consciousness is deeply connected to the principles taught by Joseph Murphy, who explained that the subconscious mind responds faithfully to the impressions we give it through repeated thoughts and spoken words. Within every individual exists an incredible mental power that quietly shapes behavior, perception, and opportunity. Yet for many people, this power remains dormant because the words and thoughts they repeat daily are rooted in fear, doubt, and limitation rather than confidence and abundance. The moment a person begins introducing powerful trigger words into their thinking, they start awakening a different mental atmosphere within themselves, an atmosphere that naturally aligns with prosperity and success. Trigger words are not magical phrases in the sense that they instantly produce wealth without action. Their real power lies in their ability to influence the subconscious mind and shift a person's internal state. When certain words are repeated consistently with belief and emotional conviction, they become signals that guide the subconscious mind toward a new pattern of thinking. These words activate a mental state in which the mind becomes more focused on possibilities, solutions, and opportunities rather than problems or limitations. Most people underestimate how deeply words influence the subconscious mind. Throughout the day, individuals constantly speak to themselves internally. This inner dialogue may include doubts about their abilities, worries about money, or assumptions that success is meant for others but not for them. Over time, these repeated statements become accepted beliefs within the subconscious mind. Once a belief becomes established at that level, it begins directing behavior automatically. A person might hesitate to pursue a business idea, delay taking a calculated risk, or avoid stepping into leadership roles simply because their subconscious mind has been conditioned to expect struggle or failure. Trigger words interrupt these old mental patterns. They introduce a new message to the subconscious mind. When a person intentionally chooses words that represent abundance, confidence, and opportunity, they begin creating a new mental pathway. The subconscious mind gradually accepts these words as instructions, and once they are accepted, they start influencing the individual's thoughts and actions in subtle yet powerful ways. One of the most powerful aspects of trigger words is their simplicity. The subconscious mind responds best to ideas that are clear, direct, and emotionally meaningful. Long, complicated affirmations can sometimes lose their impact because the mind struggles to maintain focus on them. Short and powerful words, on the other hand, can penetrate deeply into the subconscious because they are easy to remember and repeat throughout the day. Words like prosperity, abundance, success, opportunity, and growth carry strong emotional associations that can influence the mental state almost immediately. When a person repeats such words with belief, they begin shifting their attention toward possibilities that match those ideas. The subconscious mind functions like a filter that determines which information receives attention and which information is ignored. If someone constantly repeats words related to scarcity and difficulty, their mind becomes highly sensitive to evidence that confirms those beliefs. They notice financial obstacles more quickly than potential solutions. They interpret challenges as signs that success is unlikely, They become cautious, hesitant, and defensive in their decisions. Trigger words that represent wealth consciousness change this filtering system. When the mind repeatedly hears words associated with prosperity and success, it becomes more alert to opportunities that align with those ideas. The individual begins noticing possibilities that previously seemed invisible. They may encounter business ideas, connections, or creative strategies that they might have overlooked before. This change in perception is not accidental. It is the result of the subconscious mind adjusting its focus based on the instructions it has been given. Another important element of trigger words is the emotional response they generate. Words that carry positive and empowering meanings naturally produce feelings of confidence, hope, and motivation. These emotions influence the body's energy and the mind's level of engagement. When a person feels inspired and optimistic, they approach tasks with enthusiasm rather than reluctance. They communicate with greater clarity and conviction. They take initiative instead of waiting passively for circumstances to change. The subconscious mind responds especially strongly when words are combined with vivid imagination. When someone repeats a word like abundance while imagining the feeling of financial security, freedom, and opportunity, the mind interprets that emotional picture as a signal that the desired condition already exists or is in the process of unfolding. This impression becomes a mental blueprint that the subconscious mind begins working to express in reality. Many successful individuals intuitively use trigger words without consciously recognizing the psychological principles behind them. Entrepreneurs often repeat words related to growth and opportunity when discussing their vision. Leaders frequently speak about progress, achievement, and innovation. Their language reinforces the belief that success is natural and attainable. This repeated emphasis shapes not only their own mindset, but also the mindset of the people around them. Trigger words can also influence confidence in situations that involve risk or uncertainty. Every significant financial opportunity involves some level of unpredictability. Individuals who maintain a mindset of fear may avoid these opportunities entirely because their subconscious mind associates risk with danger. When trigger words related to courage, expansion, and success are repeated consistently, the subconscious mind gradually becomes more comfortable with the idea of stepping beyond familiar limits. Confidence is not simply a personality trait that some people are born with and others lack. It is largely a mental habit that develops through repeated reinforcement. Words play a central role in this process because they define how a person interprets challenges and opportunities. When empowering trigger words become part of a person's daily language, they strengthen the belief that progress is always possible and that obstacles can be overcome through creativity and persistence. Another powerful effect of trigger words is their ability to shape long-term identity. The subconscious mind builds a self-image based on the ideas it hears most often. If a person repeatedly describes themselves as capable, ambitious, and aligned with prosperity, those descriptions gradually become part of their identity. This new identity influences behavior automatically. The individual begins acting in ways that reflect the image they hold of themselves. When wealth consciousness becomes part of someone's identity, their decisions naturally reflect that mindset. They start thinking in terms of investments rather than expenses, growth rather than survival, possibilities rather than limitations. They become more willing to learn new skills, build valuable relationships, and pursue innovative ideas because their subconscious mind now expects expansion rather than restriction. Trigger words also strengthen focus. In a world filled with distractions and competing priorities, maintaining clarity about financial goals can be challenging. Words that represent prosperity and achievement function like mental anchors. Each repetition reminds the mind of the direction it intends to move. This constant reinforcement keeps attention aligned with productive activities rather than scattered across unrelated concerns. Consistency is the key to making trigger words effective. The subconscious mind does not respond strongly to occasional repetition. It responds to patterns that occur frequently and persistently. When empowering words are repeated daily, especially during moments of calm reflection or visualization, they gradually penetrate deeper levels of the mind. Over time, they become automatic responses that influence thinking even when a person is not consciously repeating them. Morning and evening are particularly powerful moments for repeating trigger words because the mind is naturally more receptive during these times. In the early morning, the mind is transitioning from sleep to wakefulness, making it easier for new ideas to enter the subconscious. At night, just before sleep, the conscious mind relaxes its analytical control, allowing repeated words to sink more deeply into the subconscious. As trigger words become integrated into a person's daily thinking, they begin influencing communication with others as well. The language used in conversations often reflects internal beliefs. When someone consistently speaks about opportunity, progress, and abundance, their enthusiasm becomes contagious. Other people respond positively to this energy, creating stronger relationships and collaborative possibilities. These interactions can lead to unexpected opportunities because people are naturally drawn to individuals who demonstrate optimism, confidence, and vision. Business partnerships, mentorships, and professional connections often emerge from the way people communicate their beliefs about the future. Trigger words help shape that communication by reinforcing a mindset that naturally expresses confidence and possibility. Over time, the consistent use of empowering trigger words gradually dissolves the mental barriers that once limited a person's potential. Doubts that previously felt convincing begin to lose their influence. The individual becomes more comfortable with the idea of achieving financial growth and personal success. Their subconscious mind begins supporting this vision by encouraging thoughts and behaviors that align with prosperity. This transformation does not rely on external circumstances changing first. It begins internally through the words that shape belief and expectation. As those beliefs evolve, behavior evolves as well. New actions create new experiences, and those experiences reinforce the belief that success is attainable. The mind begins operating like a magnet for ideas, opportunities, and strategies that match the repeated words impressed upon it. Trigger words act as signals that continuously direct attention toward growth, innovation, and abundance. They reshape the mental environment in which decisions are made and goals are pursued. Through steady repetition and emotional conviction, these words awaken wealth consciousness within the subconscious mind. They activate a pattern of thinking that encourages creativity, confidence, persistence, and opportunity awareness. Each repetition strengthens the connection between belief and action, gradually guiding the individual toward greater financial awareness, stronger decision-making, and an expanding sense of possibility. Consistent mental programming is one of the most powerful forces shaping the direction of a person's life. According to the teachings of Joseph Murphy, the subconscious mind faithfully reflects whatever patterns are repeatedly impressed upon it through thoughts, words, and emotions. Every belief that becomes firmly planted in the subconscious mind gradually influences perception, behavior, and the opportunities a person is able to recognize. When mental programming is consistent and focused on abundance, growth, and success, it begins to create an internal environment that naturally attracts opportunities and prosperity. The subconscious mind operates much like fertile soil. Whatever seeds are planted repeatedly will eventually grow and produce visible results. If seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation are planted every day through negative self-talk or pessimistic thinking, those seeds take root and shape the experiences that follow. A person may begin to expect difficulties, anticipate rejection, or assume that success is always out of reach. Over time, these expectations influence decisions and actions, often leading the individual to unconsciously avoid situations where success could actually occur. Consistent mental programming works in the opposite direction when a person begins intentionally planting thoughts of confidence, abundance, and possibility into the subconscious mind. Each repetition strengthens the mental pattern associated with success. The mind gradually becomes familiar with the idea that opportunities exist and that prosperity is achievable. As this belief becomes stronger, it influences how a person interprets the world around them. One of the most fascinating aspects of the subconscious mind is its ability to filter information. Every day, the human brain processes an enormous amount of sensory input, far more than the conscious mind can handle at once. The subconscious mind acts as a filter that determines which pieces of information are important enough to reach conscious awareness. This filtering process is influenced heavily by the beliefs stored within the subconscious. When a person programs their mind with consistent thoughts about opportunity and success, the subconscious filter begins highlighting situations that match those expectations. Ideas that once seemed ordinary may suddenly appear valuable. Conversations that once seemed casual may reveal potential collaborations or business possibilities. Resources that were previously ignored may become tools for growth and advancement. This shift in perception often appears almost magical to those who experience it. Opportunities seem to appear unexpectedly, as though circumstances have suddenly changed. In reality, the opportunities were often present all along, but the subconscious mind had not been trained to recognize them. Consistent mental programming changes the focus of attention, making the mind more alert to possibilities that align with prosperity. Another important effect of consistent mental programming is the development of confidence. Confidence is not simply a personality trait. It is a mental state that grows stronger when the mind repeatedly experiences thoughts of capability and success. When a person consistently affirms that they are capable of achieving their goals, the subconscious mind gradually accepts that idea as part of the individual's identity. Once confidence becomes part of the subconscious identity, behavior naturally begins to change. A confident individual approaches challenges with determination rather than hesitation. They are more willing to explore new ideas, initiate conversations, and pursue opportunities that might once have seemed intimidating. Their body language, tone of voice, and communication style reflect a belief in their own abilities. This confidence often influences how others respond to them. People are naturally drawn to individuals who display clarity, optimism, and determination. Business partners, mentors, and collaborators tend to feel more comfortable working with someone who demonstrates belief in their vision. As a result, consistent mental programming not only changes internal thinking, but also affects the quality of relationships and connections that form over time. Consistency is essential because the subconscious mind learns through repetition. Just as physical muscles grow stronger through repeated exercise, mental patterns grow stronger through repeated thoughts. A single moment of positive thinking may create a temporary feeling of motivation, but lasting transformation requires regular reinforcement. Each repetition of empowering thoughts strengthens the neural pathways associated with confidence and success. This process gradually replaces old patterns that may have been formed through years of negative conditioning. Many people grow up hearing messages about limitation, scarcity, or fear of failure. These messages can become deeply embedded in the subconscious mind, influencing decisions long into adulthood. Consistent mental programming introduces new ideas that challenge those outdated beliefs and replace them with empowering alternatives. Visualization can enhance the effectiveness of this programming. When a person combines repeated thoughts of success with vivid mental imagery, the subconscious mind receives a powerful impression of the desired outcome. The brain begins to treat the imagined experience as something familiar and achievable. This familiarity reduces fear and increases the willingness to pursue opportunities in the real world. Emotion plays a crucial role in reinforcing mental programming as well. Thoughts that are accompanied by strong positive emotions tend to leave deeper impressions on the subconscious mind. When someone imagines success while feeling excitement, gratitude, or inspiration, the subconscious mind interprets these emotions as confirmation that the desired reality is meaningful and important. Over time, this emotional reinforcement strengthens the belief that opportunities are always available and that progress is inevitable. The mind begins to operate from a position of expectation rather than uncertainty. Instead of asking whether success is possible, the individual begins asking how they can move closer to it. Consistent mental programming also influences persistence. Every meaningful achievement requires effort, patience, and the ability to continue moving forward despite temporary setbacks. Individuals who have programmed their minds with beliefs about growth and possibility are more likely to interpret challenges as learning experiences rather than failures. Their subconscious mind encourages them to keep searching for solutions instead of giving up. This persistence often leads to breakthroughs that others might miss. While some individuals abandon their goals after encountering obstacles, those with strong mental programming remain focused on their vision. They continue refining their strategies, expanding their knowledge, and building relationships that support their progress. Another fascinating effect of consistent mental programming is its influence on creativity. The subconscious mind is constantly processing information in the background, connecting ideas and generating insights. When a person repeatedly focuses on prosperity and opportunity, the subconscious mind begins exploring ways to transform those ideas into practical strategies. Creative solutions may appear during moments of relaxation, conversation, or reflection. An unexpected idea may suddenly seem promising, or a new approach to a familiar problem may emerge. These insights often feel spontaneous, yet they are the result of the subconscious mind working continuously to align thoughts with the individual's dominant beliefs. Opportunities frequently arise when preparation meets awareness. Consistent mental programming ensures that a person remains mentally prepared to recognize and act upon those opportunities when they appear. Instead of hesitating or doubting their abilities, they respond with curiosity and initiative. Daily habits play an important role in reinforcing this programming. Reading inspiring material, repeating affirmations, visualizing goals, and maintaining a positive internal dialogue all contribute to strengthening the mental patterns associated with success. Each habit reinforces the belief that growth and prosperity are natural outcomes of focused effort. As these habits become part of daily life, the subconscious mind begins to operate like an internal guidance system. It nudges the individual toward productive activities, encourages exploration of new possibilities, and reinforces decisions that align with long-term goals. What once required deliberate effort gradually becomes automatic behavior. This alignment between belief, thought, and action creates momentum. Momentum is powerful because it generates progress that builds upon itself. Each small success reinforces the belief that larger successes are possible. Each opportunity seized increases confidence and expands the range of possibilities that the individual is willing to explore. The environment surrounding a person may also begin to change as their mental programming evolves. New connections may form with individuals who share similar ambitions and perspectives. Conversations may become more focused on ideas, growth, and collaboration. These changes occur because the individual is now expressing a mindset that attracts people and situations aligned with that outlook. Consistent mental programming, therefore, acts as a bridge between internal belief and external experience. It gradually transforms how a person sees the world, how they interact with others, and how they respond to challenges and opportunities. The subconscious mind becomes conditioned to expect progress and abundance rather than struggle and limitation. Each repeated thought strengthens the mental blueprint that shapes perception and behavior. Over time, the accumulation of these thoughts influences decisions, habits, and relationships in ways that steadily move the individual toward greater awareness of opportunity and a deeper connection with the possibilities that surround them every day.